Bruchim haboim, welcome everyone. We're about to begin Be'ezras Hashem together in Das Samech Beis Amud Aleph, 6 lines from the bottom. The Gemara just previously defined for us a tzanua, one who is praiseworthy because of his modest behavior. And it says, the same way that he is nifne bayoim, he's nifne balayla. That means the same way that he goes to the bathroom during the day and he's careful to make sure that he's not being seen or heard. So too, that's how he goes to the bathroom at night, although it's dark and people are not around. The Gemara now brings back another statement, Gufa. Omar Rav Yehuda Omar Rav Lo oilom yanhig odem es atzmoi shacharis va'arvis kidesh lo yitzorich lihisrachik. A person should always get accustomed to the fact that he goes to the bathroom early before it gets light out and at night while it's still dark, because then a person will not have to go too far away in order to avoid people, thereby not having to hold himself back, which would be dangerous for his body. Tani Nami Hochi, the Gemara brings a brisa to support this. Ben Azai Oimer. Ben Azai also said like this: Hashkem vitzei, get up early and go out to go to the bathroom. Ha'erev vitzei, go out at night and go to the bathroom. Kidei shelo tisrachik, so that you shouldn't have to go too far, whereby you'll hold yourself back, and thereby it'll then be poisonous for your system. Mashmesh v'shev. Ben Azai continues to tell us, if a person has to manipulate his rectal area in order to then help himself go to the bathroom, he should do so and then sit down. Let's say through using a stone, a smooth stone. V'al teishev usmashmesh. However, he shouldn't do the opposite order and sit down first. Shekol hayoishev umimashmesh afilu oisin kishofim baspamya boinalov. Because if a person does that in the order of sitting down first, he will bring upon himself mazikin all the way from aspamya, far off place. V'inshi v'yosif v'achacham mishmesh maitakante. If a person, however, forgot and he first sat down and then he manipulated himself, what should he do? What is the remedy? Kikoi lemahochi. When he gets up, he should say the following: Loili, loili. It should not have any effect on me. It should not have any effect on me. Lo tachim v'lo tachtim. Not the kshofim that are called tachim, and not the kshofim that are called tachtim. Lo ihani v'lo mahani. These are not those. Lo charshe decharasho v'lo charshe decharashota. Not those spells of the sorcerers and not the spells of the sorceresses, the female sorcerers. Says the Gemara Vayter, also giving us further advice from Ben Azai. Tanya Ben Azai Oimer. Ben Azai shares with us the following advice: Al kol mishkav shochav chutz min hakarka. On anything one can lie down on, except for the ground itself. Without any separation between a person's body and the ground is not advisable, either because it's cold and will then be detrimental to his physical health, or spiritually is considered to be a problem. I'll call moishov shave chutz mina kairo. On anything one can sit on, except for a beam, an elevated beam. If he sits on it, he's liable to fall down and hurt himself. Omar Shmuel. Shmuel shares with us the following eitzos: Sheina ba'amud hashachar ki istama leparzula. When a person sleeps during the amud hashachar, that's going to be very good for his body, just like the strengthening of the iron. That means that you take metal and you strengthen it with iron. That's how you're doing for your own goof, for your own body. So that's beneficial for your body. If you take steel and you then cause it to have iron, which is even stronger than the steel was before. Yitzia ba'amud hashachar. A person goes out to go to the bathroom. Ba'amud hashachar. Also, it's good for the body. It strengthens the goof. Just again, like the steel, which is then strengthened with iron, which is much stronger. By the way, that which we said, his body is strengthened when he sleeps in the Amud HaShachar, that's not to say you should sleep throughout the morning, because the Mishnah of us says that's something that's Moitzias ha'adam min ha'olam. He misses Kriya Shema Bizmano and other things. Here we're talking about specifically the time of Amud HaShachar. Says the Gemara, Bar Kapora have mazbein mili bedinri. Bar Kapora, he would give eitzos of the physical health on derech eretz, and he would take money for those eitzos. What did he say? The ad kofnas ochel, ad tzaches shosei. When a person is still hungry, that's when a person shall eat. Because afterwards, when the hunger goes away, the appetite is no longer, then the food will not be beneficial to his body. Only when he is thirsty shall he then drink. And when he's not thirsty, again, it's not beneficial for him. Ad derasecha kederach shafoich. Until the tavshil, until the cooked item is finished, then he should go ahead and pour it out. Meaning to say, it's a malsha for a person's body. When a person needs to go to the bathroom, he should go to the bathroom right away and not keep it in. That would be detrimental to his health. Karna kari beroimi. Bar Kapor goes on to say that when a person hears the noise of the Karen, of the horn of the Romans, but then bar mazabein te'ene, then it's a sign that the people are going to then sell the te'enim, the figs, at a cheap rate, and therefore a person who's a bar mezabein, he's a son of somebody who sells figs, then te'eni the avuch zavin, then even if his father is not around, he should buy those te'enim while they are still cheap, because they're going to go up in value. Omar luhu abai l'rabbanon. Abai said the following: Ki alisu b'shvili de mechuzo l'meipak bei bechaklo. When you go in the pathways of mechuzo to go out to the fields, lo tachzu lo lahach gisa lo lahach gisa. Do not look not on this side or not that side. Maybe women are sitting there and it would not be derech eretz to stare at them. Others say that the girsa is not yasbe nishay, that women are sitting there, because that's of course also, like the Shulchan Aruch says in Even HaEzer Siman Chof Aleph at length, to stare at women. Rather, we're talking about yasbe inshi. If men are sitting, meaning they're sitting down to go to the bathroom, then don't stare at them, because it's not derech eretz to look at them in such a situation. Says the Gemara, Rav Safra Ola Beis HaKisei. The Gemara tells the following Maisa, that Rav Safra went and entered the Beis HaKisei. Also Rabbi Abba Nochar Le Abava. Rabbi Abba entered, and before he entered, he came to the gate, to the door, and he coughed, indicating that he was about to enter the Beis HaKisei, and if there's somebody else there, they should indicate also by coughing back. Omar Lei. So Rav Safra said to him, Lei Omar. He said to Rabbi Abba that you should enter. So Rabbi Abba waited, and Basa the Nofak, when Rav Safra came out of the Beis HaKisei, Omar Lei, so Rav Acha said to him, Ad hashte lo alt l'seir, ugamart loch mili de seir. Until now, you didn't go to Seir, you didn't go to the place of Edom, of the Romans, and you still learned from the ways of the Romans. That means that they're not sneas in the Beis HaKisei. So why did you speak in the Beis HaKisei? In other words, the way of sneas is not to speak in the Beis HaKisei, but rather to indicate with a cough that indeed you're there. Lav hochitnan, doesn't it say in the Mishnah? Midura haisa sham. There we're talking about where the Kohanim, if they had to go to the bathroom, then they were required to go to the mikvah. And therefore there was a medura, a large fire that was there to warm them up outside the mikvah. It says over there, Ubeis HaKisei shel kavod, and there was a Beis HaKisei shel kavod. V'zah ha'kvod, what was the kavod of the Beis HaKisei? Explains the Mishnah. Matzu no'ol b'yadua sheyesham adam. If a person found that the door was closed, then he knows that a person was there. Matzoi pasuach, biyadua she'ein sham adam. However, if he sees that the door is open, then he also knows that nobody is there. Almo lav orach arohu. Obviously, it's not derech eretz for a person to just go inside and to disturb somebody else who is there. And if he is needing to go inside, then he should then cough. However, Rav Safra thought that Rav Ava was in a state of situation of sakana. He thought that he was desperate to go to the bathroom, and therefore he didn't just cough back, which would indicate that he's there in the bathroom and he can't come in, but rather he told him, come on in. The Tanya, for we learn in the Brisa that it's dangerous for a person to hold himself back. Rabbi Shimon Gamliel Oimer, Amud HaChoizer, Mevi es ha'adam lidei hadroikon. Silun HaChoizer, Mevi es ha'adam lidei yerokon. It says over here in the Brisa that a person who begins making gedolim, so that person, if he begins, he should not bring it back, he should allow it to go out. If he doesn't, it causes a swelling in his stomach. And similarly, when it comes to a person who begins urinating, making ketanim, if he does not let it go out from the beginning, but rather he pulls itself back after it already has started to go out, then that will cause him a jaundice type of jaundice, a yellowness that will affect his body. Says the Gemara, Rabbi Elazar ola Beis HaKisei. Rabbi Elazar, he went to the Beis HaKisei. Also hahu roima dachke. There was a Roman who came and he pushed him aside while he was sitting in the Beis HaKisei. Come Rabbi Elazar v'nofak. Rabbi Elazar got up and he went out. Also daroi koino shamte lekarkashe. Entered a snake and it destroyed his rectum. Kari alei Rabbi Elazar ve'etein adam tachtecho. He said, the pasuk says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, I will make that man go in your place, meaning I'll punish that person in your place. And he made the following drasha, Al tukrei adam ella edoim, referring to this Roman who pushed him aside and took the Beis HaKisei in his place. The Gemara brings a pasuk, va'omar laragrecho v'tochas alecho. And he, over here, David HaMelech is saying that he goes out after having been in a situation where he had the opportunity to kill Shaul. Shaul was being roidev after David, and David was hiding in a cave. Shaul HaMelech enters the cave, and he needs to go to the bathroom, so he goes to the most inner part of the cave, where David and his men were hiding. David subsequently, he came close to Shaul and he snipped off a piece, the corner of his garment. After that, so David went afar. At a distance, he screamed out to Shaul, Shaul, you see that I'm loyal to you. And he shows that he has a piece of his garment that he snipped off from him. And he said, I could have killed you had I wanted to. But you see that I'm loyal to you because you're the Mashiach Hashem, and therefore I didn't kill you. The Gemara quotes, V'omar lahagcho v'tochas alecho. Omar asked the Gemara, V'amarti mi boile. David HaMelech should have said, and I said. Why did it say V'omar? It should have said, I said to kill you. V'tochas, again, V'chasti mi boile. It should have said, I spared you. Not that it spared you. Omar Rabbi Elazar, Omar loy David l'Shaul, min haTorah ben hariga ato. From the Torah, you're really somebody who deserved to be killed. Shaharei roidef ato, because you were a roidef. You were pursuing me to kill me. V'aTorah Omar bala harcha hashkim lahargo. If a person gets up to kill you, then get up earlier to kill him. Ela tznius shahaisa becho, hi chasa alecho. It was the tznius that you had that protected you. Umaihi, what was the tznius that we're referring to? And by the way, that's what it meant in the pasuk. V'omar laharcha v'tochas alecho. It was that tznius that protected you. And what was this? Umaihi Dirshu, it says in the pasuk, Vayavoy el gidrois hatzoin el haderech v'shom ma'ara v'yavo Shaul lahaseich es raglav. Shaul went into the ma'ara, into the cave, and that's where he had to go to the bathroom. And it says over here, gidrois hatzoin lashon rabim. Says the Gemara to explain, Tana, goder lifnim min goder. That means to say it was one inside after the next, one after the next fence. Uma'ara lifnim min ma'ara. And it was one inside over the next. That means deeper and deeper inside of the cave. Lahaseich, to make gedolim. Omar Rabbi Elazar melamish sochach atzmoi kisuka. The Gemara makes a drasha that he covered himself with his begadim like a sukkah, meaning that he was completely covered from the top, nobody could see it. Vayokam David, the Gemara brings the pasuk, and David got up, vayichrois es knaf hami'il, and David snipped off from the corner of Shaul's garment, ashir l'Shaul balot, he did so quietly. Om Rabbi Yosi Rabbi Chanino kol hamevazes habegodim soif eino nehena mehem. Anybody who is mevazeh the begodim, the clothing, in this case David snipped off a corner of Shaul's garment, so therefore Shenemar, it says he's not going to be benefiting from that begodim. As it says, Shenemar v'hamelech David zokein, when David was old, bo bayomim vaychasu bebegodim v'lo yicham loy. It doesn't have to say begodim this pasuk. The fact that it says emphasis begodim teaches me that the begodim that he once was mevazeh, they weren't going to help him now become warm when he was older. And here there's a principle involved, that if a person is not machshiv, but rather he's mevazeh something, so then HaKadosh Baruch Hu says, if you don't think that that's important, then I'll take that thing away from you. You won't have the benefit of that thing that I gave you. Says the Gemara, quoting a pasuk that David HaMelech declares about another incident that he could have killed Shaul. Im Hashem hesisecha bi yorach mincha. Referring to over here that if Hashem didn't incite you, then at least let him accept my mincha, referring to my tefillah. Omer Rabbi Elazar Marlei HaKadosh Baruch Hu LeDavid Mesis Karisa Li. HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to David Melech, you called me a Mesi, somebody who incites somebody against me. Harei ani machshilcha bedavar. Behold, I will cause you to stumble in a matter. Shafilu tinoike shel beis rabban yoidim oisoi. Even the little children know about this, and I'll make you then stumble upon the following. Dichsiv, it says in the pasuk in regards to then counting the Jewish people, that they're supposed to count the Jewish people not 1, 2, 3, 4 of the Jewish people themselves, but rather through a matbeya of a chetzi shekel. V'chisisa es roish b'nei Yisrael lepikudehem v'nosnu ish koifer nefesh. And the pasuk goes on to say, v'lo yeh bohem negef bifkodosam. By giving a chetzi shekel to count the Jewish people, that will prevent a magefa from plaguing the people and causing people in the Jewish camp to die. Miyad, immediately, vayamoid Satan al Yisrael. Immediately the Satan came to incite Klal Yisrael. V'ksiv, it says, vayoses es David bohem. And the Satan, and he incited David, Leimor lecha menees Yisrael, go count Yisrael. V'kiven dameninhu lo shakol minay koifer, because he appointed him to count Klal Yisrael, so he didn't take a coin to then count for them. V'ksiv, it says, Vayiten Hashem dever b'Yisrael ma'aboker v'ad eis moyed. And Hashem caused dever, a plague, amongst Klal Yisrael from the morning until the eis moyed. In other words, David HaMelech thought that which is said in the Torah is only referring to then, but not in future generations. So he's caught off guard by the Satan. My eis moyed, what's meant that there was a dever from the morning until the eis moyed? Two different opinions. Omar Shmuel Sabo, Chasnei de Rabbi Chanino, the son-in-law of Rabbi Chanino, Mishmei de Rabbi Chanino. Mishas Shchitas Hatomid Ashas Zerikosoi. The boiker refers to the shchita of the korban tamid shel boiker, which was the first thing in Amud HaShachar, and the Zrikas Hadam, that's referring to the Eis Moyed over here. Rabbi Yochanan Amar Ad Chatzos Mamish. He's saying that the Eis Moyed refers to that the Zrikas Hadam could still be until the Eis Moyed of Chatzos. Either way, it was a Chesed and Rachamei Shomayim that Kadosh Baruch Hu only brought the Magefa, the Dever, only for a short period of time. It was supposed to be for a few days, and instead it was for a very short period of time, until either the time of the Zrikas Hadam or until the Chatzos. The pasuk goes on to say, "Vayomer lamalach hamashchis ba'am rav." HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent the malach hamashchis ba'am rav. Omar Rabbi Elazar Omar le'HaKadosh Baruch Hu lemalach. HaKadosh Baruch Hu instructed the malach, "Tol li rav shebahem." Take for me a rav. Here it's referring to a great one. Not many, but a great one in place of the many. That through this one great man will then pay off many obligations. At that point in time, Avishai ben Sruya was taken as a kapara. Kaparos tzadikim are misa tzadikim a mechaper on Klal Yisrael. The Gemara brings a pasuk, and the pasuk says the following. It says, "Vayishlach." I'll read you the pasuk. "Vayishlach ha'elokim malach lYushalayim lahashchiso." HaKadosh Baruch Hu sent a malach to Yerushalayim to destroy it. Uvahashchis ro Hashem vayinochem haro. And when indeed the malach was going to then destroy, HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw, and he had nechama, meaning to say he had regret, al haro, on the bad. Ask the Gemara, "V'hashki's ro as Hashem v'yinochem my ro." What did HaKadosh Baruch Hu see in order to then regret sending the malach to indeed destroy? Omarav ro Yaakov Avinu. HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw Yaakov Avinu. Dirshu vayomer Yaakov kasher rom. Here refers to Yaakov seeing the camps that were camps of the Machane Malochim that were going to protect him from Esav. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw that the same way that Yaakov Avinu saw that. That was going to be a way that also will protect Klal Yisrael in future generations, including this time as well. Ushmul Amar Efroi shel Yitzchok ro. He says that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw the Efer, the ashes of Yitzchok, when he was about to be brought as a korban on the Akedas Yitzchok. Shenemar says, "Elokim yeiro Eloi haseh." HaKadosh Baruch Hu will show the seh. Again, there it's in the schus of Yitzchok Avinu, willing to go up, and the schus of Avram to offer his own son, his ben Yochid, as a korban la Hashem. In that schus, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu protected future generations. Says the Gemara, other opinions. Rabbi Yitzchok Nafcha Omar Kesef Kippurim Ro. He saw the counting, the first counting in Klal Yisrael, the Kesef Kippurim. Shenamar says, "V'lokachtes haKesef haKippurim me'ez bnei Yisrael." In that zechus, Rabbi Yochanan Omar Beis HaMikdash Ro. He saw the Beis HaMikdash. Dichsi B'Har Hashem Yeroeh. In the Har Hashem, he shall be seen. He will be seen. And therefore, the building of the Beis HaMikdash was going to be exactly in that place where the Akedas Yitzchak was, whereby HaKadosh Baruch Hu says to David, "Bring me a Mizbeach and build the Beis HaMikdash in this place." On that day, HaKadosh Baruch Hu told him, "This is where the Beis HaMikdash shall be." Says the Gemara, "Pligi bar Rabbi Yaakov bar Idi v'Rav Shmuel bar Nachmeni Chad amar Kesef HaKippurim ro v'Chad amar Beis HaMikdash ro." It's a machlokis between them, whether it was Kesef HaKippurim or the Beis HaMikdash that HaKadosh Baruch Hu saw and then took away the mashchis. U'misdaber keman da'omar Beis HaMikdash ro shenemar asher ye'omar hayom b'Har Hashem ye'ro'eh. Here it's an emphasis of hayoim, from today, and therefore from then on there's going to be a midas racham that HaKadosh Baruch Hu will have towards Klal Yisrael to take away the mashchis. Says the Gemara, quoting our Mishnah, Lo yikanes adam lahar bayis b'maklo. A person should not enter the Bahar Bayis with his walking staff. My kapandria. Another thing that the Mishnah says over there is you should not also make the makom of the Har Bayis a kapandria. So ask the Gemara, my kapandria, what is a kapandria? Omar Rava kapandria kishma. The kapandria means it's a path that makes a shortcut. You should not make a shortcut by going into one doorway and out a different doorway to make a shortcut for yourself. It's not derech kavod for the makom of the Har Bayis. Rav Chanal bar Ada mishmei de Rav Sama berei de Rav Mari Omar. He explains the word kapandria. Keman de Omar inish adamakifna adre eyul boho. He says like people will say that I will circumvent, I'll go around those places of dwelling instead and enter it this way. In other words, the word kapandria itself is a combination of adamakifna, that's kifna, adri, and eyol. So those three words combined make the word kapandria, which means a shortcut. Om Rav Nachman Amar Rabba bar Avua hanichnas lebeis hakneses al menashe lo la'asos kapandria muter la'asos kapandria. If a person enters a beis hakneses without intending to make it a shortcut, and at the end he needs to go out through a different doorway and it ends up being a shortcut, that's not a problem, because he's not making the Beis HaKnesses into a place that is not without its due respect. He's not using it as a shortcut, since he entered for a different purpose. Rabbi Abba Omar im haya shvil me'ikaro muter. Also, if there was already a shvil before the Beis HaKnesses was built, then again entering that shortcut is not a shortcut because he's coming to show any lack of kavod for the Beis HaKnesses. So that would be muter. Omar Rabbi Chelba, Omar Rav Huna, hanichnas lebeis HaKnesses lispalel, muter la'asoy kapandria. If a person is entering a Beis HaKnesses to daven, then he can go out, which will end up being a shortcut for himself. Shenemar u'bebo am ha'oretz lifnei Hashem b'moy adim. V'goymer.